ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। You did not bring this. You don't have? Sorry. इसमें है उद्दात। हम रोज उद्दात से पढ़ाते हैं। Tomorrow if you don't bring, we'll be out. Those who don't bring Mantra Pushpam and read as I bring every day and you all don't bring. Have little sensitivity. Don't take it for granted. Anything which is there, if you take for granted, you will never grow. You should see it that I am chanting from Mantra Pushpam. So why you are not bringing? You have? You? Huh? Okay. Earlier also I told you, still you forgot. तुम क्यों नहीं लाते हो? Jruri to irritate when you know that what I need. It's important that you you will do whatever is not required. When Uddat and Uddat has its value, and you know I'm chanting Bhadram Karne Bhi Shrunuyam Devaha, कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. If you are very thick skinned, you will never be able to have grace of God. Only thing is this: you will study Vedanta whole life, but you will have no grace and no knowledge will take place. Knowledge will take place only when you have surrendered. Why to do something which irritates? Casual approach. 6 मंत्र स्टार्ट में गड़बड़ कर देते हैं. 6 मंत्र now chant. तिस्रो मात्राः मृत्युमत्यः प्रयुक्ता अन्योन्यसक्ताः अनविप्रयुक्ताः क्रियासु बाह्याभ्यन्तरमध्यमासु सम्यक् प्रयुक्तासु न कंपते ज्ञः. नेक्स्ट ऋग्भिरेतं यजुभिः यजुर्भिः अंतरिक्षं सामभिः यत्तत्कवयः वेदयन्ते तमोंकारेण एव आयतनेन अन्वेति विद्वान् यत्तत् शान्तम् अजरम् अमृतम् अभयम् परं चेति इत्यथर्ववेदीय प्रश्नोपनिषदि पंचमः प्रश्नः. We had been seeing that the Shabya Satyakama had asked the question about the upasana of the Omkar. Which lok that upasak will go who does the upasana on Omkar? That was the question. He had not asked the question separately about Om, etc. But the teacher gave the answer separately because one who contemplates on Akar or one whose area of identification is bigger, he will attain bigger lok. And one whose area of identification is smaller, he will attain a smaller lok. I had talked that the thought which has become stronger, that thought becomes your body or becomes your my and I. So today while doing upasana, that may not be converted into the lok, but the fruit will be that it will convert into your body. The thought will convert into your body. Like Puranjan's thought was of Puranjani, so that thought converted into his body, and ultimately he became a woman. So this is the principle of Upasana, that bigger is you can entertain very big object of thought. And by entertaining an extremely big object of the thought, repeating it till the last moment, prayananta, till the last moment, he is saturated with the thought. Remember yesterday, I had pointed 5 factors: extensity, intensity, shraddha, tapasya and brahmacharya. So more is the quantity of these 5 things, more is the probability of getting that lok. Then it is said here, Tisro matra mrityumatyah prayukta. So you heard Akar, chanting Akar, he is contemplating on the Virat. Chanting Ukar, he is contemplating on Hiranyagarbha. And chanting Makar, he is contemplating on Ishwar. As you know, Hiranyagarbha is more pervasive than Virat, and Ishwar is more pervasive than Hiranyagarbha. When I say pervasive, that means it is the cause. Because even when the Hiranyagarbha has gone into one manifestation, still there Ishwar is there. So, this is what is mentioned here. Tisro matra. So, identification with the Ishwar, if you remember, we have heard also fifth mantra I have seen, I think. Fifth mantra I have seen. So, it is written here, Abhidhyayita Param Purusham. Param Purusham means Karan Brahma or Ishwar or Antaryami. He contemplates. When I say he contemplates on the Ishwar, that means in his area of contemplation is the Lord of Srishti, Pralaya, Sthiti and many yugas. So he has much more pervasiveness in his contemplation. More you go to the Karan, more stronger faith is required. To believe in Virat is easier than to believe in Hiranyagarbha. To believe in Hiranyagarbha is easier than to believe in Ishwar. Because something are not seen by the eyes, something are inferred. Nobody has seen Pralaya, nobody has seen creation, but we infer and we have Shruti Praman. So more faith is required, more tapasya is required, because the tapasya is required to maintain one higher thought for a long time. This is the kind of austerity. And more brahmacharya. Why you need control? To ward off all other thoughts. All other thoughts are excluded. And therefore this particular seeker will be free from all sins. Yesterday you gave the example of a snake leaving its skin. Yatha padodara tvacha nirmuchyate evam havai sa apmana vinirmuktaha. Similarly, slowly he is free from all the sins. Sa etasmat jiva ghanat parat param purusham. So ultimately he goes to Brahmalok. Why he goes to Brahmalok? Why he doesn't go to Swarg? Because of his contemplation of Ishwar, his enjoyership has diminished. Sin itself means that enjoyership is no more. When you say more a person has enjoyership, more bigger sinner he will be. Because he has no enjoyership left, because when you contemplate on the very pervasive God, slowly the vasanas melt down in the contemplation of pervasive God. You cannot have vasana and you cannot have separate enjoyership when you, even if you chant Ram Ram every day, if you chant Lord's name for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, so you will find that the calm, growth, they will slowly wither out or they'll become less powerful. This is the power of Nam and Upasana. Higher thought rubs with the lower thought and absorbs the lower thought. Even without your knowledge, this will happen. You need not do something, but just if you chant, so you will be free from various kinds of impressions which were once upon a time very high pressure impression. High pressure frequent enjoyer. High pressure frequent enjoyer will become low pressure less frequent enjoyer. This is the glory of the Upasana. Provided only how much Upasana, that depends how big is your enjoyer in certain area. That means if you have a lot of sense of joy in something worldly, so you have to contemplate, take more name of Lord. So God will come in your mind and clear up that vasanas, etc. So there is a very positive note that there is no vasana which cannot go by chanting of the Lord's name with faith and commitment. It may take 20, 30 years, it may take 10 years, it may take 50 years, but the seeker will definitely evolve someday, provided he does not leave his chanting with faith and his Akar Upasana and Makar Upasana already he has done. That means outer world there is a reverential attitude and at the intentional world he is pure. Akar Upasana is the meaning. So this will be out of sins. Sins means through which you become dependent, through which you are very obsessed by some joy outside. So that is the sin. Sense of joy in the world. Little joy is chalo, okay. But more joy so that you cannot live without that, that is a bigger form of sins. Sin lies in a sense inside. Sin is lying in the form of sense of joy in any person, in any object, in anything, in name, fame, in power, in any action other than God or self, you have a strong sense of joy. That is called the seed of your sin. And that will make the mind disturb and make you do something to get it. Ultimately, I will be. Yesterday, my vicious circle I was telling in the night. So he will enjoy to work and work to enjoy. And this way, that particular path will be reinforced. Okay? By contemplation of the Lord or Ishwar, remember that what I am talking, contemplation of the Lord. You are allowing that God to go into your subconscious mind. But what upasana does, what meditation does, that knowledge or that thought which is only consciously available, it should percolate and sink inside me, so that where is that thought deep inside myself, that thought is replaced by the enjoyment of the God rather than enjoyment of the world. This is why the meditation has to be repeated for many days and years together. Only knowing will not help you, because knowing will be at a superficial level, but deep inside ourself, the weeds of ahankar, weeds, the root, some plants, they have deep rooted weeds inside. And if you take it out, you will see how long was the root of that particular grass. Some grass roots are little, all spread around like here. And some have knots also. You can see like this, these knots are there. So similarly, we have very deep rooted vasanas. So that does not go unless you have contemplated on the Lord. If you don't like makar word, you can contemplate on the Lord. Your Ishtadevata you contemplate along with the Nam and Roop. But when you contemplate and allow that thought to go deeper into you and sink inside you, then it takes care of that negative aspect. And one day you will discover that I don't have the desire to get it. I don't have a lot of pressure to obtain this. I don't get angry. I don't get lusty. I don't get, ahankari. That is the result of your deeper meditations done for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, etc. And he is doing almost 10-15 hours. If you remember, I told also. He only does this. Understood, no? So therefore, his sins go away. Please note one point. By Vedantic knowledge, mind will either not get purified or get purified very slowly. It is by upasana and karma yoga that the mind gets more and more purer, desireless, less frequency of kam krodh will be there, and even if it comes, it will be very weak kam, very weak krodh. It won't have any expressive power. There is no urgency to express that. It dies its own death very slowly. This is indicative of person's sadhana and contemplation. Okay. Similarly, if you, therefore, so much of upasana is advocated. Similarly, ahankar is there. Now you think about Ishwar, how many srishti he has created. Yesterday I gave the example how Ishwar sees, if you remember that, how he sees the success of this body, failure of this body, death of this body, birth of one family, because he sees in hundreds of yugas on thousands of years, and so for him there is no important issue about this life. Even if this body dies, he is not affected. That is not like one glowworm is no more, or it has achieved a lot, it has failed a lot, or it has met an accident. In that cosmic drishti, it is not even a drop also, not even a speck also. So when a person contemplates on the Ishwar, by contemplation, he tries to see from Ishwar's angle everything. And I always say the meaning of love is the getting the eyes of the beloved. That is the meaning. If you have Krishna Bhakti, so you will see from Bhagwan Krishna's eyes. If you have Ram Bhakti, you will see from Bhagwan Ram's eyes. If you have Shiv Bhakti, you will have Shivji's eyes to see. You are able to evolve to that extent that you are not identified with one small antakaran. You are not identified with one small antakaran. Like head of the family in the house is identified with everybody's mind. Son, daughter, wife, children, servants. Everybody's antakaran, he goes through it. Similarly, Ishwar also sees from absolute level. So when you contemplate on Ishwar and think about that, so you will always not at all be bothered about what this body got, what this body lost, what this person insult got, what this person honor was there. It will be as if nothing is there. And therefore he is free from all sins. So sense of importance, sense of joy on object of the world or the body is called the sin which he is free from. I hope you are understanding that. But very important point, which I will repeat it. By knowing it won't help. This is not the area of knowing. Your nature will not change if you just know. You have to consciously practice it. You have to reiterate the thought and internalize it again and again till you find the change. And alamban to take the roop of the Lord is Naam of the Lord. When you are taking Naam of the Lord, you take the roop of the Lord in your heart. Otherwise, listening will not make much difference. If you have not done 2 hours, start with half an hour of sitting, 15 minutes sitting, make it half an hour, make it 40 minutes, make it every 6 months increase 15 minutes of sitting sadhana, then make it 1 hour. Only this 4 years I will have 2 hours of sitting sadhana will increase. In 10 years I will be 10 hours sitting. When I do other work, don't worry. After 5 years, 5 hours if you have made, we'll stop, don't worry. First come to 5 hours. But nobody sits for 5 hours, I don't think so. At a stage, not that 2 minutes sit, getting got up. Because you are not allowing it to sink inside. You are not allowing, if you are disturbing the thought, try to absorb it. Try to get it more deeper where your ahankar is there. Let the ahankar be dipped in the thought of Ishwar. Think of your doer, what you have done, and think what God has done. Dip the ahankar into it. Dip the enjoyer into the cosmic enjoyer. All what you have done and what you blow trumpet about, dip it in the what God has done and see. Similarly, when you start thinking like that, in due time, depending on how much ahankar was there from the past, because the whole problem is we are coming from a very strong past. We have practiced certain thinking hundreds and thousands of times, hundreds of thousands of times. Million times I must have got angry in this birth. Million. If you are 40-year-old or 50-year-old, the amount of time, amount of million time a person gets angry. Imagine that. Now you are unwinding it. Do you think it will be easy? No. Same time, hundreds of thousand times I had asserted my ego. I got hurt. Now all of a sudden you come to the ashram. You start thinking. Do you think there will be U-turn all of a sudden? Then certain people will say, he lives in the ashram, he's saying he is ahankara. We give him time. He is not magic. He needs time. Give him. Well, already I have been there for 5-7 years. 5 years is nothing in compared to what wrong has been done. And here also we continue the wrong. So 5-7 years is nothing. It will take births together. There is no joke here. There is no, casual approach is there. And therefore I always emphasize on your personal sadhana as well as Virat Upasana. Because if you are involved with some attachment outside, anger outside, then there is no time you will get to go inside and do Upasana also. On that day you are disturbed with some issue or a person, that day your jap is not okay, puja is not okay, maybe you don't do it because the mood is gone out. Everything is thrown apart that day. And therefore please protect your mind from getting disturbed from outside world. Because your whole schedule will go bad after that. It will spoil the whole day. The same thought will trouble you. So protect yourself. So this point I wanted to emphasize what is sin and how sins go away. Understood? Now I'll go ahead. Already explained. Jeev Ghanat Parat Param Purishayam. That is the meaning of the Nirgun Brahma, which is beyond Hiranya Garb, not Hiranyakashipu, beyond Hiranya. So that we saw, that is called Jeev Ghanat, because Hiranya goes in all Jeev, therefore is called Jeev Ghanat. ठीक? Now he is now winding up the whole Prashna. Pippalad ji is winding up. What he says? 6th mantra, Tisro Matra, Mrityu Matya. Plural of Mati is Matya. So, Matya. So, all 3 matras separately practiced Mrityu Matya. It will take to higher lok, but it will again bring you back in the lower lokas. That is called Mrityu Matya. Tisro Matra Mrityu Matya Prayukta. Prayukta means when used separately. When used separately. Not together. But Anyonya Sakta, mutually connected. Anyonya Sakta means when they are mutually connected. Anaviprayukta. Viprayukta means properly used. Aviprayukta means improperly used. Unviprayukta means not improperly used. That means properly used. Well, why are you troubling me? Just say like that. So, anaviprayukta. So, there is a way. So, then what happens? Kriyasu Bahyabhyantar Madhyamasu. Here, Bahya means waking state. Kriyasu here means meditation. And Bahya means waking. Abhyantar means dream. And Madhyam means dream. And Abhyantar means deep sleep. So meditation done for waking, dream and deep sleep. You understood what is meaning that? That means you are thinking that Virat has merged into Hiranyagarbha and Hiranyagarbha has merged into Ishwar and Ishwar alone is there. This is called meditation. Kriyasu, Samyak Prayuktasu. Ultimately what will happen? He will go to Huh? Huh? Brahmalok. Ultimately he'll go to Brahmalok, being identified with the Ishwar. Ishwar he gets identified. You had heard this yesterday about Brahmalok. Don't get surprised. You you can see that. And then what will happen? Na kampate gyaha. Gyaha is means that upasak. Doesn't shake and shiver. Doesn't means he doesn't get cold. That doesn't shake and shiver means he does not get sad on anything. Why? Because he is identified with the whole. Therefore, he does not get sad or shaken up or devastated. Why? He is not identified to the body. So he is not trembling there. He is not identified to that body. Na kampate gyaha. What Bhashika writes, let me see. He says, Vidwan sarvatma bhuta onkar mayo kuto va chalet kasmin va. In whom will he shake when he has become everything? Air can shake, water can shake, but space cannot shake because he is all. Because this Vidwan has known that I alone am everywhere. So whom will he get shaken by that? This is the point. We are shaken up because of our sense of exclusion, because of our desires. If that desire is not fulfilled, I am shaken up. Or I went to, or my son is no more, or my daughter is not ran away. So because of attachment there is a problem. Problem is not in situation. Problem is because of attachments. Sometime I go to the hospital, and if you must have gone to the hospital, so who was saying that day? कौन बता रहा था कि he was in the COVID ward? Shulendra was telling. So he was in the COVID ward, not Shulendra, his friend. So around in his ward, 6-7 people were there during COVID time, and that his friend was 3 weeks in the ward. So every day he was seeing that person is passing away. I mean, every day 3-4 people were passing away and new were coming. The same ward, when the COVID was on its peak. And naturally, when you are sleeping there, your bed is there close by. So this thought will cross. What? माली आवत देख कर कलियां कहे पुकार, फूल फूल तो चुन लिए काल हमारी बार. All the birds talk when they see the gardener coming, that all the flowers have been plucked. Tomorrow is our turn. We'll also flower. So this friend of his, he was thinking, now I will also go like this. In front of you, the person, imagine what a scene is there. Body is packed, put in that polythene, plastic, and taken out. Little shaking experience is there. And same bed is there again. And you saw that person when he came. Why hold what the person will do in the hospital? If he is on the bed, all sense organ are not active, only his eyes and ear and mouth are active. And so eyes are seeing, चारों तरफ आँख देखती रहती, कौन आया, कौन गया, how is he? So he used to see this. So he told he was so shaken up, even now that trauma has not gone after years also. That scenes it has slowly percolated as a disease now. It becomes a psychiatric disease now. ऐसा होता है. So I always say, you don't know what problems people have. So please thank God. अब ये भी पाप ही था. This is also a sin that you have to see all these things in the same room. You have to live in the hospital. Hospital is very depressing place. That especially this general ward, especially ICU is worst. ICU. Very vibration are quite disturbing. Anyway, but क्या करे भाई? Who wants to go to the hospital? ये कोई थोड़ी ना है कि it is a park that you want to go. तो ये मजबूरी में जाना पड़ता है. If compulsion is there, then you go. You are thrown outside. So, but this upasak, therefore I said good actions and do upasana. You don't know when our life is going to end. So before you take another body, please earn sufficiently. At least you can get a seeker's body, if not anything else. At least you have the body which will be for sadhana. It's a area which is not under your control. I told you, no, that moment a person passes away, there is no deliberate action where he will be taken. It is now, he is taken here, there, what is there? You are out after that. Till you are living, you have deliberate action. You can eat, you cannot eat, you may stop eating, you can walk, you may not walk. But after that, there is no deliberate action. So, na kampate gyaha. This person doesn't shiver because he is not identified with one body. He is identified to all bodies. In him all is there. It is our ahankar that shakes us, our attachment that shakes us. Sometimes when I go to the hospital, once I saw, doctors will declare this person is no more and his relatives will come and they'll cry and lot of what is it called, sadness you can see, lot of bereavement is there, and at one corner you are sitting on one seat and just watching them, but you are not crying because your attachment is not there. That may be somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, somebody's father. ये बहुत कष्ट है दुनिया में, बहुत कष्ट है. The attachment, if that was not there, he also would have observed. Somebody abuses to X person, so that person gets very upset. But I will watch from a distance because with that body I am not identified. If I was identified to that body, I also would have got upset. But because I am not, therefore I am seeing it as a third party. So more our wrong attachment, wrong identification is there, more you are going to get sorrows, anger, disturbances in this life, in the coming lives as well. This cycle will continue. Sorrow is not going to get over here. It is just what sorrow we have, it's the tip of the iceberg. We have been sad on very, very big issues in the many lives, this life, and our future also we are going to be sad, upset, we will hit ourselves. There are much more sorrows in the offing if we don't do sufficient upasana and don't practice the knowledge of the self. Point is not that what I study, what I don't study. It is not a theoretical thing. Whole scripture, whole Adhyatma Gyan, whole Vedas, whole Upanishad, whole Bhagavad Gita is only attempting to take your sorrows forever and give you that unparalleled bliss of self which is I am. They are all putting gigantic effort so that I can be free from sorrows. That is the only effort, that is the only purpose why they are screaming day and night, so that I leave my identification. And if we don't improve, then it is up to us. Now it says here in the last mantra of this Upanishad, Rigbhihi Retam. Etam means lokam. By Rig Ved mantras, this upasak, Etam means he comes to Manushyalok, if you remember, he comes to that family where brahmachar, he has more brahmachar, more shraddha, more tapasya. Inbuilt tapasya is there. Inbuilt capacity to believe is there. Everybody's capacity to believe is very different. And I told many times, you cannot just create shraddha. You can force yourself to do, okay, I do 2 mala, from today I'll do 20. After 1 month I force myself to do 100. But you cannot force yourself to have lot of belief all of a sudden. Belief will increase only with your punya karma and upasana. Belief will not be, you cannot force your belief. Like you cannot force to love somebody. You can't force. Emotion cannot be forced. Body you can force. Emotion you cannot force. Conviction you cannot force. It will take time. So these Rig Ved mantras, they take you to Manushyalok, not ordinary one. First, Yajur Ved mantras take you to Swargalok. So Etam Lokam Prapnoti, full stop. It is all incomplete because Sanskrit is like that. You have to complete it. Well, I only will complete everything. Rigviretam lokam prapnoti, full stop. Yajubhir antariksham lokam anveti. He goes to antariksha. Third is samabhi. Third one, samabhi. By the Sam Ved mantras, yat. Tat means brahmalokam kavayo vedayante. So, he attains the brahmalok. Tat means brahmalok. Tat. Then what is written here? Tam onkaren eva. Which onkaren? Complete onkar. Ma. Ma means complete. Ayatanena. So by the pratik of that, anveti. Anveti means he attains. Who is this? Vidwan. Vidwan means he is upasak. Who was upasak of Makar or Onkar. And what he attains there? Yat tat shantam. He attains that which is peace in nature. This is about the nature of the self only. Where he goes to Brahmalok, and after going to Brahmalok, he hears about the self. Why? Because by his upasana, he got sadhan chatushte. He is now sadhan, sham, dham, uprati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhan. All are in full measure or very high measure. Vairag is in very high measure. So there when Brahmaji teaches, so Brahmaji doesn't have to clear his throat while teaching. Because when one throat is not okay, he uses another head. So his class continues. So tat shantam, tat shantam, he continues. Tat shantam, ajaram. Yes, there's no problem. He continues teaching. And their body is not made of 5 elements, so they don't get hunger, thirst, etc. They don't have a, what is it called, tiredness, that I'm tired, I'm sleepy, nothing is there. So you can continue for hours and days together, course continues. So Shantam, and all are highly qualified, so they don't sleep also. So so Shupti is not there, hardly. So Ajaram, they know it. Supposing we have that body and we have that mind, and we only talk of Vedanta and don't go anywhere outside, he'll also know the knowledge. If you imagine that. Here, because we go out, again interact, so again we pick up the dust from outside. Again our enjoyership comes. So demon sleeps in the class. And Devata sleeps outside the class. So demon is saying, okay, the moment you put on your shoes, I'll be there. So Shantam, but there is nothing to interact. There is no vegetable market. There is nobody else in Brahmalok. So Brahmalok is only meant for this sadhana. So there they are there. And after going, so when they know the self, so they are just waiting for Brahmaji to dissolve and they will not be born. In between, if their mood is there, they come on the earth also. Take some body, they are very powerful, and emancipate the people. Bhagavad says, when they see the people here unhappy and very miserable, they feel how foolish they are and they want to have compassion. Therefore, many saints, they come from Brahmalok only. And therefore, their effect is very big. Their work, their effect, all these things are very big is there. So if the effect is big, the cause will be big. Many will not have teacher also like Raman Maharshi because he has already gone through the process of having a teacher. So Shantam, Swami Nityanand, like that people are there. Ajaram, Shantam, one is Shantam, Ajaram, Ajaram. Ajaram means, Bhaskar writes here, Vimuktam. Shantam is free. Jagrit Swapna Sushupti Adi Vishesha Sarva Prapancha Vivarjitam Ata Eva Ajaram. Last, 7th mantra, last you can see the Bhashya. Last few lines you can see. Jagrit Swapna Sushupti Adi Vishesha Sarva Prapancha Vivarjitam. I hope you got it. You can underline that. Ev Ajaram. So Shantam Ajaram. Ajaram means old age is not there. Old age means it does not have any of the modification. Like 6-fold modification is there. Asti, Jayate, Vardhate, then Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati iti. So conception, number 1. Number 2, birth. Number 3, growth. Number 4, modification. Number 5, decay. And number 6, death. So this is the 6-fold modifications of the body. Till the age of say 30, you are born, then you grow. Till the age of 19-20, vertical growth, after that horizontal. So till 30 you are growing malo. 30 to 40 there is no viparinamate, modification is, you don't know what it is. After 40, apakshiyate, decay start, bone problem. Then what is it called? Eyes number will increase, toothache will be there, back problem will be there, stomach problem will be there. Because body is now, उसको बोलते हैं ढलती उम्र है, it's now नीचे आ रहा है सब, थक गए, heart, kidney, they all have got tired of working. And some people are old in the young age. They have diseased organ, and after 55, 65, the decay rate is stronger. What you can do with your discipline is decrease the decay rate. That is the only thing. You cannot stop the decay, but you can decrease the rate of decay. That's you can do with your discipline. But which is not a body will have any decay because it's not the body. Ajaram. Ajaram, next word. Amritam. Amritam means devoid of death. Abhayam. So Abhayam means fearlessness. Why? Because there is no cause of fear. Cause of fear is identification with the body. Cause of fear is seeing something else other than me. That is cause of fear, but there is no cause of fear. Param cheti anveti. So param anveti. Cha means anveti, he attains that. So yasmadeva abhayam yasmat param niratishayam. Tadapi omkarena ayatanena gamana sadhanena anveti. So by this omkar, this is the fruit of kram mukti, which is mentioned as. I hope Tika writes Utpan nirvishesh brahma sakshatkarena uktasya omkarasya tanveti tan eveti. So he is now established in the self. How? Kram mukti, by omkar upasana. The main purpose was to tell this. Prabhupada ji told this thing. Akar and Ukar upasana is Gauna. Omkar upasana with the thought of Ishwar is the main topic here. So that you get purified and you go to Brahmalok and ultimately you shed your body identification like a snake sheds. So this completes the fifth and penultimate prashna. Now we will see the last sixth prashna. This is where is very Vedantic prashna will again come. Last is this. So this will complete the Upanishad. Oh, it will be completed in 2-3 days. I don't think so it will be completed. Although because it's a little serious and it will demand more attention. Although this particular has only 8 mantras are there, but it will take time. The last prashna we are into. देख रहे हो उपासना का क्या फल होता है? And if you don't believe, supposing you find it very abstract or difficult, so I will use for Omkar Upasana, you do Ram Upasana, Ishwar Upasana, your Krishna Upasana, your Ram Upasana, whatever use Upasana you do, and whatever mantras you do, you chant. So along with the chanting, you contemplate on the form of the Lord. That will take you to that particular place. So instead of Brahmalok, you will go to that Ishwar Slok where he will teach you something. Take? In other words, that action which is Manasik Vyapar is much more powerful than Bhautik Vyapar. What you do by mind, and especially if strong faith is there, and tapasya is there, and long hours are there, and long time is there, so that particular thought becomes very strong in your mind. Our problem is very simple, that we don't have, number one, lot of faith. Number two, our problem is we don't have too much of tapasya to continue that thought. And number three, we are not very regular in maintaining the thought even in the daytime. So out of 24 hours, we entertain that thought for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So there is no long hours of maintaining that thought because we don't have that much of faith. And because we have 100 of vasanas, so all vasanas demand their own action, own channels are open. Therefore, your power of concentration on one aspect is very weak, and therefore we are not able to get into the rhythm of the upasana. Anybody who will be the upasak, he will not have many vasanas. And then only he can allow the thought to go inside. Like when you put tiles, you allow the tile to dry up and don't walk into it. Or when you are making curd, so you allow the milk and you put that small curd in the lukewarm milk for a long time so that it can percolate over all the milk and make it curd. If you keep on shaking every second minute, so it won't become like that. So our faith is very less. And ahankar is more, krodh is more, kam is more, competition is more, jealousies are more. So it's quite insight, not a good picture is there. So therefore we emphasize on more karma yoga and more upasana so that a person can get out of his self-created inner cobwebs, cocoon that he has bought into. He lives into his own imagined world. So this is why upasana is being emphasized. In this whole Prashnopanishad, if you are marking, there is a quite emphasis on upasana in the first, second, third chapters also. Pran word was used, but actually it is for your any Bhagwan, you can use that. What is the importance of Bhagwan? First chapter was how the Srishti had come. Second chapter was, if you remember, the glory of Pran. Third chapter was glory of Upasana of Pran. Fourth chapter was how the whole world is in Atma. Fifth chapter is Omkar Upasana. And sixth chapter is on Shodash Purush. 16 Purush who has 16 kalas. And this question will be asked by Sukesha Bharadwaja. This is the last, he is only one remaining. He said, let me also ask. Very good question he has asked. But I'm sure you would have benefited from Prashnopanishad more than what you thought it was. It has a lot to give. So try to give time to your mind and maintain the thought of Lord during your interactive hours also. This we will see tomorrow. My time is over. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah.